Senate Republicans this week unveiled the roughly $1 trillion stimulus proposal, which includes a $400 cut in enhanced unemployment benefits and will serve as an opening bid for bipartisan negotiations with Democrats. I spoke about this and other issues today with Valley Congressman Dr. Ruiz. Dr. Ruiz, thanks for joining us again.
It's good to be here.
Your thoughts on the stimulus bill from Senate Republicans?
I'm very concerned about that bill because it has no funding for cities, less than 500,000 population. It has no funding for states or counties or cities, period. It also doesn't have the funding that the HEROES Act has for schools. And we know that we're in the process of needing to expand their capacity to deal with the pandemic in a safe manner. And we also see that they've cut the extended unemployment insurance benefits. Over 20 million, nearly 50 million, in fact, Americans are unemployed. And the unemployment cliff is coming at the end of this week. People will no longer receive the $600 a week benefit that they've been using for rent or medications and healthcare and other basic necessities. I mean, if you haven't noticed, but the cost of groceries have gone up almost $200 a month. And so, many American families are struggling right now. And so I'm very concerned that it doesn't have the appropriate help that the HEROES has for American families.
So what is the bill that you and other Democrats would like to see?
Well, we want to see the HEROES Act. We passed it over 60 days ago, anticipating this problem. The Senate is now starting to move. There's nothing like waiting for the last minute to create a political crisis. But the HEROES Act has $1 trillion for cities that will help our local cities in the Coachella Valley, especially Palm Springs, Desert Hot Springs, Cathedral City, Coachella. It has funding for schools to help teachers and also to help with their capacity to deal with the pandemic. It has money for testing, contact tracing. It has my bills that will eliminate out-of-pocket costs for the care and treatment of COVID-19. And if someone needs to go to the hospital for that, it also extends funding for environmental justice issues like in communities in the eastern Coachella Valley. It has $1 billion for tribal healthcare to serve our most underserved Native Americans throughout our country. So, it extends the stimulus check and it keeps the $600 extra a week of unemployment insurance till January.
What do you say to critics, Congressman, who say that the HEROES Act is too much money and that by extending the $600 unemployment benefits, you're incentivizing people not to want to go back to work?
Well, that's false because an individual who refuses to go back to work loses their unemployment insurance. And so, one, and two is that it's a very sad state of affairs when our approach is to starve families, intentionally create hardships for them to go to a low-paying job. What we need to focus on is to increase the livable wage so that getting a job is the preferential option for American families.
Riverside County Supervisor Karen Spiegel recently tested positive for coronavirus. She had voted, or proposed rather, back in April against the face mask order. Your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts about eliminating the face mask protections in the county as prematurely as they did. And now we're in this situation. But my thoughts are nothing but happiness and well-being for Karen Spiegel and her family to get through this illness. I don't want her to suffer. I don't want her family to suffer. I don't want anybody to suffer from this illness. And so I'll be praying for her and her family for a speedy recovery.
Last night on this program, I had on State Senator Melissa Melendez, who talked about why she thinks it's important to have children return to classrooms right now. Do you agree with her?
It defies common sense to send students back into a high risk of transmission location where it's very difficult to keep physical distancing during a surge. Right now, we are in a surge, and we find ourselves without the proper and adequate apparatus of testing and contact tracing in order to put out flare-ups before they become another surge. So we need to first stop the surge.
All right, Congressman Ruiz, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.